Hi, I'm Dave Bova here with Makeup First. Now once we get our gelatin melted and our mixture made, this has this nice consistency. It's very important that when you apply this directly to the skin, you make sure that it's at a good temperature for it. Now, in this process you can add gelatin to your countertop in your kitchen, or a cutting board, and you can manipulate it. And once it cools, you can peel it off and add it onto the skin. For example, I have a scar on my elbow here. And so you'll notice that it's flat and there's a discoloration, that there is a lot of shiny spots, that there's some spots here that are irregular. And so in order to achieve that with the gelatin, again, you can add it onto a palette, put a small amount here, and pre-make it. Now with a model today, we're actually going to show you how to put a scar directly from the pot onto the skin. So now I'm taking a little of the witch hazel, like I mentioned. Again, you can use rubbing alcohol or acetone. I'm going to add a little bit into a container. I'm going to dissolve the edges of our pre-made ones. You can see it starts to dissolve the edges and really soften it out. Now as these cool, these will get a little harder and more gelatinous. So now we're going to put it in for about 10 seconds. You'll notice now we've taken it out, it's heated up, and we've added a little water, and the water has now made it back into a thinner consistency, a more workable consistency. We're going to put a scar on Lane's arm here. What we're going to do is just take this, take a small amount of it, and apply it directly to the skin. Now with our spatula, this is a makeup spatula, I'm going to go through and kind of manipulate it down. Is this okay? Mm-hmm. Good. And in order to make a scar, you can make a thinner scar by pulling it out. Make a thicker scar by lifting it up. You can also make spikes and peaks in it. You can also take witch hazel and go through and dissolve our edges. See it dissolving there? This will make the piece look as if it's coming in directly from the skin. We can use the witch hazel to dissolve a texture into it. And now we can simply take a tissue or a paper towel and absorb the excess witch hazel. Now be sure not to press it too hard into the gelatin while it's still warm and setting up. There we go. We have a nice prosthetic to look like a scar. You also want to add a little bit of pinks into it. So first we'll start off with a foundation sponge. I personally like Cinema Secrets foundations. I think they're fantastic. But whatever foundations you work with are just fine. And add a foundation to the piece. Again, we'll powder this to set this in. And then you'll use your basic highlighting and low lighting techniques. Remember that there should be pinks in it. Go right on top of it all with the foundation. This will blend it out. Once you do all of your undercoloring, make sure you powder it. Go back with your witch hazel and dissolve a little tiny section of it. Some of the things that I like to use for wound makeup is Ben Nye's Thick Blood. What's great about the thick blood is you put it on there and it stays. You can make the other parts look raw by putting little dots throughout here and then blending them out. The pièce de résistance is Ben Nye's Stage Blood. This blood is not only liquid, but it's also edible. But it's also really great because it's movable. You have to kind of work fast. There's a point of origin for a blood product. And in this example, it's running down and over her arm. And that makes it look much more realistic. This is Dave Bova for Makeup First. Have a great day.